Welcome back to That Dad Guy. It is February the 21st, 2023, and today we're talking a little bit about stamps and how you get the paper backing. What I mean by paper backing is when someone sticks a stamp on an envelope. This one here hasn't been canceled, which is nice. But you want to get rid of the piece of envelope it's attached to. What are you going to use? Now, for the longest time, we have just used water. You get a pan of water, you put the stamp inside the pan, and within a few minutes, usually, you can take the stamp off of it. Now, that was the case when you had the gum back stamps. When you could lick the stamp and put the stick and lick them stamps, that worked perfect. Get some warm water, cool water. Warm water, I think, works a little bit better from what I can tell. The paper will come right off and there won't be any harm to the stamp. Now, I did that with this stamp. You can see there's a bit of curling to it just because I didn't press them right after. But this is a self-adhesive stamp. You can I'll see right through it now. With self-adhesive stamps, sometimes when you put them in water, they will come off. Sometimes it is a pain in the neck, and sometimes you have to soak them for a lot longer. So what are your options? I can tell you right away that I am not sponsored in this video by the product that I'm going to show. It was just recommended to me. So I thought, well, I'll give it a try and see. And since then, I've been recommended for another product too. So I probably will have a second video, and I'll talk all about that. I do want to say, if you're tuning in for the first time and you like this sort of thing, I'm a hobbyist. So I do post-crossing, I collect Lego, I collect stamps as a result of my father's collection, and I like to explore things. So all that stuff I show on this video, not in this particular video, but in all my videos. So if you enjoy it, go ahead and subscribe, leave me comments so we can chat back and forth, and share it to other people you think might like it. Now, today I'm going to talk about a product called Goo Gone. A friend of mine, Lewis, in Dubai, is using this. He told me all about it. I found it on Amazon. So this isn't a very big bottle. It's 8 fluid ounces or 237 milliliters, but it should last a long time. When he suggested what I do, he said get a eyedropper. In this case, I use like a little syringe in order to put the product on it, because you'll need a few bits of the liquid in order for it to work properly, and you don't really want to submerge it in the liquid. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a stamp like this, or a stamp like this, as it got heavier cardboard on it, so I want to see how it's going to affect it as well. You can see this is a corner edge. So what I will do with this is just peel back the paper on this. You can even tear that corner off, I don't need it. You can see the stamp there. So I'm going to soak, or I'm going to put drops on this, of this product called Goo Gone. And Goo Gone is a natural citrus product, but it does have some petroleum distillates, I think is what you would call it, in it. Now, I have a friend called Kyler who's in Prince Edward Island. When he heard that I was going to be testing this product, he hadn't used it yet, he told me a few things that I should be wary of. Petroleum distillates is one of the things, and it's right here listed on the back that it has it. He says sometimes there's a residue that's left over the stamp. That's what he's heard with using these kind of products. So we're going to see if that's the case with what I'm doing. And he says it might not show up right away, so we'll test and leave it for a little bit and see if we can find any sort of difference in the stamp. These particular stamps that I'm going to be trying on aren't super valuable stamps. They're pretty common. You'll find them a lot, so I don't think I'm going to ruin them by testing this product on it. The other thing that he says, he uses a product called Pure Citrus Air Freshener that he gets out of the United States. He says you can get it on Amazon, but the shipping is quite expensive here to Canada, at least. If you're in the United States and you're watching this, that might be your best option. He says he just sprays a little bit on the back of it and it comes right off. So he's going to send me a copy of that product, and I'm going to try that too, and we'll do a little comparison to see which seems to work the best and what it looks like after. So the other thing that stamp collectors have been using for a while is Bestine, but it's not available in Canada. But one of the things you have to watch out for when using some of these other products is to see if the postmark bleeds through. So as I showed you with this particular stamp, there's a postmark on it, but you can't see it on the back. It didn't bleed through. that is from water soaking. So we're gonna see if that happens with Goo Gone, if we're gonna have a postmark bleed through. We aren't gonna have a postmark bleed through in this stamp because there is no postmark on it, but on this one there is. So we should be able to tell whether or not it'll bleed through. So we're gonna do that. The other piece of information that Collier sent me too was that there are only a few countries that their stamps are not water soluble. So he gave me the list: the United States, Great Britain, Belgium, Austria, Italy, and Russia. So those countries, if you have self-adhesive stamps, the water method most likely won't work very well. You will have to use something maybe with orange citrus in it in order to get them off nice and cleanly. So yeah, so let's go ahead and try this. We're gonna put these two stamps to the test, one without a postmark, one with a postmark, kind of test how long it takes for them to soak off and how easy it is to remove them after it's done. Let's go ahead. All right, so what I have in front of me here is a piece of corrugated cardboard that my father used to dry stamps. I'm going to use this piece in order to spray them down. Here are the two stamps that we're going to try. I've got my product here, Goo Gone. I've got my little syringe. So we're just going to, it's a child lock, so you just press down, lift the top, and there you go. I've already taken the seal off of it. I'm going to do this off camera so I don't spill it. There, so I've got a little syringe. All I'm going to do is just, I can see the stamp already coming through the paper. Make sure the stamp is completely covered. There we go. And you can see why I've put it on this corrugated cardboard. You don't want to put it, I could have used a pan or something to do it. Might just get a little bit more for that corner. I don't need as much as I just grabbed, but I want it to soak through there. And then the excess I can just push right back into the container again. Easy. So we're gonna let those soak for a few seconds, maybe give it a minute just to see if we can do it. I won't leave it on camera for a full minute. We'll come back to it, we'll have a look, but you can see how it's already soaked through. And the reason I said we put it on the corrugated cardboard, I think I got distracted. You can see here where the orange oil is kind of soaking through the page and then into the trap below. So you would want to put it on something so you don't have it right on your table, or put it in a flat pan, maybe like a cookie sheet or something like that, just somewhere where it can catch the residue. And then once we peel them off, we can set them aside to dry. All right, let's give it a few minutes. Because I've never used this product before, I'm not really sure when they're going to be ready. So let's just have a quick peek here. Well, I can see I can lift it a little bit off the corner. And I can peel it back. Oh, it peels right off. That's nice and easy. I don't see any bleeding of the postmark through there. You can see it's curled a little bit, but I think if I press that, it will come off. There's a bit of sticky on the back, so I think I can, I've been told if you put a little baking soda or powder on it, that will get rid of that adhesive. Let's try the other one. So this is the one from the US. Let's see if I can peel it up at all. Let's try with the tweezers. It is lifting. So this is pretty easy. You can see that. That's pretty good. And one of the advantages of using this product, everything smells like oranges right now. So if you like the smell of oranges, so I'm going to put that up like that and let it dry. Put those to the side. You can see where the orange was, or where the Goo Gone has gone through. Yeah, so I don't know if I would use a flat surface next time or continue using this corrugated. I like the corrugated aspect for it to lift, go through there. And just to let you know, that was about 2 minutes I let those stamps sit for. There is a bit of stick to it, so those people that say to put baby powder or a little baking soda on there, Lewis says all he uses is a Kleenex tissue, and just pat down the back and it will go away that way too. So I guess putting a little bit of fibers onto it. The other thing to look for residue, I could feel the sticky on the back. Now, some people say just scrape it off. So I've taken, you can see there, a little bit of the gum that's on it. If I drag this across, some people use a metal ruler or paring knife. There, yeah, I can feel that the residue is gone now. Kind of has an oily sensation to the back of it. Let's do the same thing with the one from the US. Yeah, so it doesn't feel sticky anymore. It does feel a bit oily. So I'll give you that. The front doesn't, but the back, I guess the front doesn't because I put the product on the back more. My hands are a little oily. Someone says, I read in comments about it, that maybe if your skin is sensitive, you should use latex gloves when doing this. I don't think I have overly sensitive skin, but I can feel the residue on it. All right, I'm pretty happy with this first test with these stamps. They look pretty good. A little bit of curl, but I know I can press it down now. You can see there is some gum left on that. It's still sticking to my hand, so I'm gonna have to put something on the back. Same thing with that one. I don't know if that's the oil or the gumminess of the stamp on the back of that, but I will put some powder or something over it just to get rid of the gum, because I don't want it sticking to anything else now that we have it unstuck from the page. So there you have Surface Safe Goo Gone Pro Power Goo and Adhesive Remover. That's what it's called. I found this bottle on Amazon with the amount that I used. You can see at the top. Didn't have to use very much to get those stamps off. It didn't take very long at all. First opinions of them, I think, are pretty good. Here's another stamp. I tried one. I didn't show you this one too, but I did do another one. It's clean, looks good, pressed. I cleaned off the back, and it's got a bit of a shiny hue to it. I wanted to see if the residue on it was going to stick, but I'm pretty content with that. I think that's going to be a good looking recovery stamp. So if I do get this product from Kyler, I will do a test of that one too and show you that, and maybe do a comparison of the two side by side, which I think is better. If Kyler says it's good, I trust his judgment. He's been stamp collecting a long time, and I've seen a couple of videos. One that, well, actually the same video actually, that Lewis sent me and Kyler sent me, the exact same thing, of a gentleman who was testing 3 products, including Stn, and the third product that had the orange in it was the air freshener one that Kyler was talking about. And that's the one that he said was the best one to use. He said the bleeding was stronger in that, so I will be curious to see whether or not there is any bleeding, because in this particular stamp with the postmark, I have no bleeding through. It's clean. So Goo Gone, I don't think, has bleeding problems. So will the air freshener? We'll see. I hope you enjoy this. I thought it was kind of fun to do something a little different with the stamp hobby. For those of you who are philatelists out there and are having troubles with taking the paper off the back of the stamps, you might want to give this a try if you're using self-adhesive stamps, because I think this might do the trick. Or wait until I get the other product from Kyler, and we'll see how that one goes. So I think it'll be a good test there. That's the one that I did with the water. There is no sticky residue on the water one. It took a lot longer to soak off the back with that, but it's clean. I also can't see through this product yet, the stamp. This one here, I certainly can see. Let's try that again so you can see it. Maybe you can see it. You're looking through the back of that stamp. There's the front, nice and clear, but with the residue you can see all the way through, versus this stamp that I did with the water. I guess with the light behind you can. There, the light, it's white. And this one, you can see right through it. So I'm curious about that, whether or not, because I'm using that oil, whether it thins the paper versus the water. We're gonna see. We're gonna do a couple more. We'll do the one that Kyler sends, and then maybe I'll sit down and even maybe in that video I will do one in water, one in Goo Gone, and one in the air freshener, and see which one comes out best. Oh, that's long enough on Goo Gone. I'm not sponsored by it, so we won't give it any more airtime on it. But if you have your opinions of it and have used it before, leave a comment. If you haven't used it before and you're curious about the air freshener one, leave a comment on that. Say that you're interested in that video as well. I'm trying to do some things a little bit different. I've shown you stamps. I show you the stamps that people send me through post-crossing as well. Haven't done a Lego video lately. I didn't want to be doing anything that I had to bend over a lot with my back, but I'm back to work now, and it's been 2 days. Things seem to be working okay with my back, so maybe I'll get a Lego video going again soon. Maybe even this week, I don't know. We'll see what this week has in store. For now, you guys, you hobbyists out there, whether it's post-crossing stamps, Lego, whatever you tune in for, I'm glad that you do. Thank you for watching, thank you for subscribing, and thank you for sharing with other people. I'm looking forward to where we continue to go from here. So for now, have a magical week. What, Polo? You say like, subscribe, share, and tell all your friends?
Who's a good boy? Who's a good boy?